We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Peace and the wonderful Dharma will to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tăng thính, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tình duyên diệu pháp luân nhau đau ngã mùng, như há liễu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc là tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Namo Sadanto Suche Doye Olahudi San Miao Samputo Xie. Namo Taratha Toya Daya Alahade Tamil Tamboda Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yi wo jin jian wen de shou chi yuan jie ru lai zheng shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jingliang, Great Master YongHua, all monks and nuns, and all good advisors, Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Kiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị tín trí thức A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, Chính Liang Đại sư sư phụ sang人,各位出家人，各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Hello everyone, today is the 9th of January 2022. We're here to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're presently on slide number 213, and thank you all for being here. Okay, so we are at the Bodhisattva. We are in the section where they list the who's and who in our world. Worlds are listed. Those who came to attend Shakyamuni Buddha's Avatamsaka Sutra lectures. Okay, and now we look at Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, lotus headdress, a profession, courage. Okay, why are we still here? The headdress here is this bump in the middle of the Mahasattva's head. Is just like you see the bump on the heads of the Buddhas. Okay, very similar. This particular Mahasattva here. So his Dharma door that he practiced in order to get his position, okay, is to be very courageous, okay, courageous in the face of danger, in the face of in times of trouble, okay, and he's able to use his courage, his bravery, in order to overcome the obstructions and the difficulties. 214. Bodhisattva Mahasattva, universal wisdom resembling banners of clouds and sun.
普智云日床菩萨摩诃萨。
So 215, the commentary, this Mahasattva is called universal wisdom. So his wisdom has been practiced everywhere in the universe, and that so his wisdom is so pervasive that it resembles vast clouds, okay? And furthermore, the nature of wisdom is brightness. So this brightness of his wisdom, the light of his wisdom, it shines like a sun, illuminating everything out there, just like the sun. You know, the sun and in the sky, it can shine upon everything. And so this wisdom here is representative of the one vehicle, and like the Dharma banner. So this one vehicle here means that the vehicle of the Buddhas. When the Buddha taught Buddhism, there's only one vehicle. So we all practice under that one vehicle. And sometimes low-level people, they didn't know better, so and they're limited in terms of understanding, in terms of wisdom and capacity, and therefore we sometimes break up and talk about three vehicles. So the two vehicles refers to the Buddha Dharma that's taught and it's practiced by the sound hearers, so that the two modes of realizations are the fourth-stage arhats and the pratyeka Buddhas, okay? And that's the pathways for two vehicles or the sound hearers, okay? And another vehicle is the vehicle of the Bodhisattva, where they practice the paramitas, the 6 paramitas, the 10 paramitas. And 6 paramitas if you're low level, 10 paramitas if you're high level. And they be practicing those Dhamma doors, you will realize you become a Bodhisattva, Mahasattva. And finally, there's a one vehicle that includes them all. That's a Buddha vehicle. All right. 216. Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, vajra navel of great vigor.
大精进金刚斋菩萨摩诃萨。
So, this commentary in 217, this Mahasattva practices specialty is vigor. He's here to teach us about vigor. And so in order to teach us about vigor, he excels, and he did vigorous deeds or practices that are very difficult for us to practice. That's why it's called great vigor. Great because it's very, very difficult for most people. And yet, who is able to do that? And because of his great vigor practice, he results. He produced a vajra core around the navel. Sound familiar to anyone? Anyone? Doesn't this remind you of some sort of practice that you know about? Anyone does? Like many of you? Well, because we teach you, when we teach you Chan, what do we teach you? Contemplate the navel. So you combine the contemplation navel and the Korean great vigor. We're going to have a vajra navel of great vigor. You see? And yes, go ahead, Q&A.
Emitofuo Master. We, like you say, we focus on the navel and the 6 paramita because of one of the Vigor practice.
I'm sorry, your sound is not very clear.
Emitofuo Master.
Anyone? Oh, Emitofuo. Oh, any what to you too?
Yeah. It's the practice that we have to focus on the navel, like you said, and the vigorous is part of the 6 paramitas.
Yes, it's number 4.
Yes.
Okay, number 4, vigor. Vigor is a number 4 paramita that is necessary for you to develop samadhi. So, because of his great vigor, he is able to develop tremendously high level of samadhis. His samadhis are invincible. And that's why, because this invincible samadhi of this Mahasattva practiced, his navel is like vajra. Okay? So I made fun of you because if you practice the way we teach you Chan by contemplating the navel as you meditate and as you recite, as you breathe or whatever you do, then and you couple that with tremendous vigor, great vigor, then in the future you may have the same kind of results. You might call yourself Junior Vajra Navel of Great Vigor. Okay, so this is what is this Vajra core? Vajra core is similar to, if you guys do work out at all, like you work on your core here. There's certain exercises that work on your core. Okay, it's a takeoff of that as well. In Buddhism, the contemplation on the core here is that form of thing. So whatever practices you do, you return back to your core. You produce this Vajra core. Okay, now why Vajra? Why not gold, silver, lapis lazuli, the 7 gems, but Vajra? Yes, go ahead, number 6.
Because Vajra is unbreakable and is stronger than anything else.
Yeah. How do you create it? I mean, like, if you want gold, you mine it, right? So how do you mine Vajra?
I don't know, but is it mined through cultivation and samadhi?
Okay. Anyone else? How do you mine Vajra? How do you turn your core into Vajra? You know, like when you work out, there are some exercises like planks, like I don't know how they call it. So many exercises you can do. You know what I'm talking about? You work out nuts that you do in order to strengthen your core, even those wheels. You know? That kind of thing. Okay, so how do you turn your core into vajra? Q&A.
Amitofuo Master, we try to push it to the limit.
Push the limit?
Yeah, we go all out.
You go all out. Okay, you go all out. Okay, it reminds me, because there's lots of Koreans here, it reminds me when I first practiced Taekwondo, one of the first training exercise we did from the Korean instructor, okay, in Vietnam, was to use your fist and hit against a board. Did you do that in Korea? You did that to us Vietnamese only. You know, in Vietnam, the Korean instructors, they put down a board, you know, like a flexible board, like this thin, and then you plant it down on the ground and you hit, and so that your fist hardens, okay? Is that what you do in Korea too? What happened to all the Korean tongues? Chung-Yin Sunim.
Yes, Master.
Thank you very much. Is that an answer or just a greeting? 안녕하세요.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you so much. So you do that in Korea too, in order to harden your fist?
Yes, Master. Taekwondo is do that.
Oh,
Same.
do that. Yes. Okay. How fascinating. How informative. Watch more Netflix. Okay. Continue, please. Maybe vocabulary will increase a little bit more to 3-word sentences, 3-word answers. Anyway, so in martial arts, not just the Korean, but the Chinese too. I know some friends who are practicing iron fist. So they stick the hand into the gravel, okay. And first it starts bleeding, and then every day they would put on some kind of, the master would give them some kind of alcohol-based things, and they put it here, and then you do again next day, and eventually you graduate. How? You don't know? Chinese people. So you have this cauldron of hot sand, and you stick your hands in there. You go, acha, acha. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Joe Mountain Temple.
철사장, 쇠철, 오래사, 철사장.
Yeah, we can hear you. Continue.
Master, he was just correcting how in Korean they say iron fist. 철사장.
So you go like this? Or you go like this? Oh yeah, there's this, yeah.
No, hello.
Acha.
Omen Sunim said it's iron sand.
Yeah, iron,
You put
iron sand.
not the iron fist. You put in the hot sand.
Oh, iron sand.
Yeah, you put your hands into the heated sand to make it strong. Ew, I'm not gonna do that. 그게 아니고 저기 손을 쇠처럼 만드는데 모래에다가 뜨거운 모래에 손을 넣어가지고 단련하는 거래요.
So in Korea, try to make the iron fist. What they do is they put the hot sand in the cauldron, and then they put their fist into it. That's how they make the iron fist.
Ah, okay. Are your fists made of iron?
주먹이 새로 만들어졌나요?
You look like you have the, look so smooth.
굉장히 부드럽게.
For me, it's just the thought of irons, hot sand. For him, it's okay, yes, number 2.
Thank you, Master. In America, Iron Fist is a member of the Defenders, which is a subgroup in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're located in New York City, and Iron Fist is the son of a wealthy business owner who goes to the Far East to study the ancient Eastern practices to give him powerful iron fists.
I see. Is he Korean?
No, unfortunately, Disney decided
Jewish.
to whitewash this character.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Probably Jewish. Jewish. Oh. Never mind. Okay, so how interesting the cultures. So my point, I have when I describe these things is for a purpose. So see, my inexperience. Master Bong Yun is like this. So this is a proper practice. You don't go like this. You're gonna break your fingers. Anyway, so you do that, and that's how your fist becomes stronger. Okay, so you put through a lot of pain. You go through a lot of pain and suffering. Go ahead, Joe Mountain.
Hello. I don't know what happened. Is Peter looking skinny, or is it my imagination?
I don't know how to answer that. We just had pizza today.
Because we thought that he was Ray, like when he was offering the tea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I leave it to him to answer. For him to answer this question.
Thank you, Master. Thank you, Venerable Shannon. Today, I thought I might be on camera, so I decided to wear all black.
Which has a slimming effect on the profile. We are so vain, aren't we? Oh God, yeah. He's so much vanity going around the temple. Oh my God, this is disgusting. Not only did you pick out lunch, and you're also vain. Anyway, so you, in order to practice these things, you have to realize there's a lot of hardship, there's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. Okay, a very difficult thing to do, and yet he still vigorously practice these things. So these martial artists, as well as these Bodhisattva, they practice this very difficult thing to practice. Okay, and how do you turn your fist or your navel into vajra? Q&A.
Hello, Master. I think you have to really focus concentration on your when you punching, and your mind have to concentrate really hard, and day by day you practice. the same thing. You use one finger, try to punch to go through the. First, you practice to banana tree, and after that, slowly to the coconuts. That's concentration is really, really tough.
I see.
Yeah, that's how I understand the practice.
Okay. I only saw part of the video. It shows a Thai Muay Thai people training the hit, not the banana trees, but a real tree with the tibia, with the foot. I look at it, oh, it's got to hurt. Anyway, yes, Kung Fu Master.
A Di Đà Phật, thầy hỏi cái cách tập tay đó. Thì hồi xưa con trong quân đội là nó bắt tập từ đai trắng không biết gì lên tới đai nâu là phải 6 tháng. Một ngày tập 8 tiếng là phải 6 tháng.
Taekwondo?
Xong rồi, dạ, taekwondo. Rồi mới qualify, mới lên học cái trường vũ thuật quốc gia là người ta cử con đi đó là phải 6 tháng nữa. Cũng 8 tiếng mỗi ngày mới ra được cái đai đen. Rồi first black belt, first degree đó.
So you have to break something in order to get a black belt?
Dạ, xong rồi mỗi tháng như thầy nói.
With the fist or with the chop?
Mỗi sáng vô quánh cái cây như thầy chỉ nói đó, rồi xong đâu. Một người nằm xuống, cái người đứng sau nắm hai cái ankle đó, cái người ta đi bằng hai cái này nè. Đi vào lỗ, đi vào đất bằng.
Oh my God.
Qua tới bên đây tới nhà 19 người đó mới đi ngược lại máu nó chảy ra. Rồi sau cái đó rồi đó, thì cái ngày mà mãn khóa đó.
So you walk. He said you walk with your fist. You walk you walk on your fist instead of on your feet. So someone holds you the back feet and you walk on your fist like this on the gravel on the road.
Rồi sau đó rồi mỗi ngày như vậy, sáng sớm như phải làm như vậy. Rồi cái ngày mãn khóa là mỗi người phải đấm một cái 30 miếng ngói cỡ gì thế này nè. Đấm làm sao phải nát hết 30 miếng đó mới là ra trường mới đậu được.
What?
Cái này đấm xuống là sao nát 30 miếng ngói. Đó là cái test mà để mà một trong những cái test đó. Nhưng mà có kinh nghiệm là như nãy anh Peter nói đó. Nếu mà mình đấm mà mình nhìn cái mặt miếng 30 miếng ngói nó không bể. Mà mình quán tưởng mình đấm tới cái miếng chót đó thì nó mới bể. Cũng sức lực đó mà nếu cái tâm mình không tập trung, chỉ nhìn cái mặt của mấy chồng ngói thì nó không bể, nó bể 3-4 miếng trên mặt thôi. Mạnh cỡ nào nó cũng bể 3-4 miếng. Mà phải quán tưởng mình thôi tới cái miếng nhói chót đó. Thì nó mới bể. Thì hồi đó con thọ giới chùa Thượng Nhân Tánh thì tối ma nó lại bóp cổ con. Thì con vật nó xuống con lên bụng nó được. Thì con quán cái đó con thoi con ma đó. Nghĩ là thoi mày tới bộ dáng qua cái ngực mày luôn tới dưới.
You killed him.
Dạ, thì lúc đó tự động mình nghĩ tới đó mình thôi vậy thôi.
I see.
So, Master, whatever you just say is remind me like when I worked in the military, and then we do have to go through the training of Taekwondo, and then
The officer school, right? That's
officer school,
officer school,
like military school, yeah.
right?
And it took 6 months to practice from the white belt to get black belt, and then every day we had to practice for 8 hours. And we have to, like one of the training is like one person will hold our ankle, and then we have to walk with our fist on the gravel, and then until like walk very far up to right across the street and walk back, and then we are bleeding. And then it took us 6 months to graduate to get first degree black belt, and the graduation test is like we had to break through 30 pieces of tile in order to graduate. And then one
Roof
of the
tiles, right?
roof tile, and then. One of the tricks is like Peter said earlier that we had to contemplate and focus, because if you only focus on the surface of the tile, doesn't matter how much force you apply, you won't be able to break through all 30 pieces. So you need to contemplate that you break through all the way up to the bottom to the last piece of tile. So later on, recently, like a few years ago, when I went to Vietnam to receive ordination, and then I stay at Venerable Kiến Tánh Temple, and at that night, the ghost strangled me. And then I contemplate that way. I contemplate that I hit through his chest and then went through his belly. And then that's how I fight against the ghost.
Do you kill it?
Thì sau đó con khám phá là họ rất là nhẹ, không phải như mình tưởng, mình xô cái là cái tờ báo thôi. Giờ con thổi mạnh đến độ con nghe cái tiếng động là nghe cái rầm là con văng xuống đất luôn, thức dậy là biết mình nằm mơ.
So later on, I found out that the ghost was very light, and the fact that I used so much force, and then I punched on the bed to the point that I fell off the bed to the floor, and then I know, like, oops, I applied too much force.
Okay, so here's a question. Granted, given that you practice all those things, the hot sand, cauldron, okay, and let me tell you, Pom Chunian forgot about the final detail, okay, that is, when you finish your practice here, I don't know about Korea, but after you're done, okay, you practice, you successfully can do this, okay, with your fist becomes iron, okay, then they allow you graduate by telling you to hold the cauldron in your arm, okay. In his school, they make them walk with the fist. In the real school there, okay, they make you hold the vat there, the iron cauldron there, and walk, so that your hand is tattooed. He says, iron fist, iron fist. Is that true? Does it happen in Korea? No, see?
그 중국 소림사 무술에서 하지 한국에서는 그렇게 하지 않습니다. 한국에 태권도는 철사장이 없습니다. 세라 통역하세요?
When we look at Taekwondo, we really don't do that iron fist. We don't do the iron fist, but what I understand is Shaolin Temple, they do that. They do that training for the iron fist.
Yeah, he's right. And that's why it says Shaolin Iron Fist. Just kidding. I saw it in Kung Fu movies. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. I can confirm that Iron Fist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has the tattoos on his arms. They look very cool.
Yeah, it's a must. It's like a certificate. Okay, now the question I have for you is, after you practice all these things and you stop practicing, are your fists still iron? Are your fists still hard? And you use Taekwondo and keep hitting against the board like this, and then you stop practicing, what happened to your fists? Q&A.
Hello, Master. You have to keep continue it every day.
Right. If you stop, the fist becomes human, no longer iron.
Yes.
Become flesh and bones.
Yes, Master.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, and Andres.
Well, I know that I play instruments, and I haven't played some instruments for a long time. I don't play as much as I did every day, but I still have the muscle memory Well, I'm not going to be quite as good as I was when I was like doing it every day at my peak, but I have the muscle memory to pick it back up again, and I can pick it up. So maybe you don't start from zero if you don't do it all the time.
So it's like if you have an iron fist, and the ghost comes and attacks you and says, "Can you give me a few more weeks? Let me go back to my training because I haven't been training for quite a while. Come back, huh?" Yes.
No, it's probably something like when you started, you had 0 iron fist, and when you graduated, you had 100 iron fist, and if you stopped, maybe you had 50 iron fist.
50 iron fists,
Yeah.
100 iron fists.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like
one yin bodhisattva. Never mind.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like at your peak. Maybe you'd be halfway.
Yes, but Andres, you missed my point. My point is that if your iron fist has to wait for a few more weeks before it comes iron fist, how are you going to defend yourself? My point here is that once your navel is made of vajra, it's always vajra. And that's the difference between worldly training and Buddhist training. Okay, this vajra here is irreversible. Once you turn your stuff into vajra, it's always vajra. Okay, so that's so the original question: how you turn to vajra? You turn this your whatever you're practicing, whether it's a weapon, whether it's your navel. Okay, the practice has to go to the ultimate for that to become vajra. So what happens is the iron fist. Okay, they practice, they have the secret knowledge to do that, but it's not ultimate. That's why it's not vajra yet. Okay, and this vajra here is produced from wisdom. That's why it's vajra. If you, in Buddhism, you hear the word vajra, it means that this person reach a level of enlightenment before it can produce vajra. All right? In contrast to worldly practices where they do iron fists, steel fists, and so forth, okay, they're not the ultimate yet. That's why it hasn't become vajra yet. Go ahead, Jumang.
After the vajra in the past sutra lectures, isn't it something you already have and then you cultivate and purify and so on, and then so basically the vajra is already with you, inside you? Or is it something you produce?
It's mind, if you will, like cryptocurrency.
You say you produce vajra, it's not something like made to the order, like when you need it?
When you become enlightened, then you're not enlightened yet. We cannot reveal the secret to you. The only thing I can tell you is that you need to become enlightened before you can produce vajra. Before your navel becomes your navel becomes vajra, or your fist becomes vajra, or your weapon becomes vajra. Yes, 5.
Master, are you talking about great enlightenment?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. Not a small enlightenment. Small enlightenment is nothing. Small enlightenment is. That's why small enlightenment is not that useful. Okay, the vajra is indestructible. That's why it's invincible. That's why the demons and ghosts are scared of you. If you don't have vajra, they can destroy you. You have vajra, they cannot destroy you. That's why they're scared of you. Yes, 5.
Master, if you reach enlightenment like in a previous lifetime or whatever, and then you come back again, so you carry that with you if you've already reached it previously?
Why you want to carry vajra around? It's very heavy.
I don't know. I'm just wondering.
So you imagine, for example, imagine that you're from the Pure Land, Western Bliss Pure Land, from the West. On the West is this side, okay? And Amitabha Buddha says, hey, it's time for you to go back and save your previous husband.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah, remember that guy? He was so sweet to you.
Sorta, okay.
Yeah, okay. So now it's time for you to go. And don't forget your vajra. So you pack vajra in your suitcase, you come back here, go here, or what? Come on.
I don't know.
The nice thing about vajra is that, it's a good question. The nice thing about vajra is that once you mine vajra, you come here, you will be able to develop the same technology again, to mine it again. Because vajra, I heard, is very heavy. And the airline does not allow you to carry more than 50 pounds, 25 kilos. These people, I don't know. Yes, why do you go to school? Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. I also want to say, Pamyam Sanim, Annyeonghaseyo, good to see you. Good to see you. My question is, Mani Chuayo, Kamsahamnida. So
I could even understand that Korean. Wow.
If vajra is, it sounds like you say it's so powerful. The Dharma protectors, are they vajra as well, or do they just use vajra?
The enlightened Dharma protectors are vajra as well, and that's why they're invincible. This is why when you practice the 4 2 hands and eyes and so forth, your Dharma protector have to be vajra, otherwise they cannot protect you. Heidi said, oh, thank you, Master. We start membership pretty soon, 4 2 hands and eyes membership. It's funny. I talked thinking about membership. I talked to a person, a Chinese doctor, who used to volunteer at Tzu Chi. You know that Buddhist association that helps does charity work. They give you free doctor services, dental services, psychiatrist services, and so forth throughout the world, okay, including here. And so he said that it's funny. He says he used to volunteer doing that. He used to go to South America, to Peru, to Colombia. What happened to Diego? Colombia, and he says, Colombia, would you believe in Colombia? I went to this sponsor, this person here who is supporting, who's helping us, provide some support for our medical team. It's a lot of people. Every time they organize, there's a lot of people. So so many people would go to this hacienda, this house. It has 10 different houses, okay, and each house like a palace, okay. And he says, you think you go to Colombia and they're very poor? Oh no, they're much better than us here who live here. It's much better here than in Los Angeles, much better in Malibu. So anyway, and he says, so this Tzu Chi here, it has a lot of members throughout the world. And they're very supportive of the charity work. Anyway, Yes, 3.
From Brady, cannot the strength of vajra be included within one's patient, compassion, and other virtues?
Yes. We need all those in order to mine vajra. When you mine cryptocurrencies, you need a lot of computers and electricity. But for vajra, you need a lot of things to produce vajra, to mine vajra. Yes. And in Buddhism, we have these practices. These 6 paramitas you practice will help you produce vajra. Okay? You need the 6 paramitas in order to produce vajra. The 2 vehicles, the sound hearer vehicles, they don't have the technology. That's why they cannot produce vajra in their practice. And it's a good point. And thank you for pointing out to me the vajra produced with the compassion, with kindness. Okay? Meaning you cannot be mean to people. You mean to people, you won't produce vajra. Go ahead, Joe Mountain Temple.
Master, earlier you mentioned that if you don't produce vajra, the ghosts and demons can destroy you. So does that mean that even 4th stage arhat can be destroyed by the ghosts and demons?
Yeah, absolutely. Even 4th stage arhat. All right. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so this vajra thing here, okay, is a lot more. It's a kind of cool thing. I'm just scratching the surface for you to pique your interest. You say, oh wow, if I can do this chanting, I can do this 4 2 hands and eyes things here, I will produce vajra. Yes, you will. Janelle, what do you think? Huh? You think we're only fast? No, dear. All right, next, 218. Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, banner, fragrant, blazing light.
香焰光床菩萨摩诃萨。
219. So the fragrance here, in Buddhism, fragrance is from your purity of precepts. Okay, when you're pure, you're very, very pure, your body produces fragrance. For example, Master YongHua's body actually produces fragrance, but he would not allow people to smell it. Okay, it is said that somebody reported once that Master YongHua was not paying attention, so he said, "Wow, he's so fragrant." And then as soon as he said that, and disappeared. Master was, and so disappeared. Okay, so the fragrance here is from your purity. So this banner here pertains to the accomplishment, the recognized accomplishment, and you're a great hero, a great leader of the Bodhisattvas, okay, Mahasattvas, and the light here, again, is from wisdom. Okay? All right. So you see, even with these people, whatever Dharma doors are practiced, it still ends up the same thing where you have this banner, meaning that you are recognized by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, not just banner, or like in our world to be recognized by all the leaders, all the kings and so forth. Banner here is recognized by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, okay, Mahasattvas. Fragrance is still, no matter what you do, you still have to maintain purity, okay? And ultimately, it manifests itself as wisdom that shines upon living beings in order to help them. Okay, so that's what this Bodhisattva Mahasattva did. 220. Bodhisattva Mahasattva, resplendent virtue and profound and beautiful sound.
大明德生美音菩萨摩诃薩。
All right, 221. This Mahasattva, his virtue light radiates, and when he speaks Dharma, his words are profound and yet beautiful to the assembly. So he stresses virtues. Okay, his practice is about virtues, and he's so virtuous that this virtue here is brilliant. That that other Mahasattvas and Buddhas recognize that his superior virtuous conducts. Okay, and he teaches by using his beautiful sound. Okay, very pleasant to hear, and yet his words are very profound. Okay, and Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, light of great blessings, born of wisdom.
大佛光智身菩萨摩诃薩。
So 223, this 10th Mahasattva, representative of the who's who of the Mahasattvas present at the assemblies, Avatamsaka assemblies, was called Mahasattva, light of great wisdom, born from blessings, born from wisdom. And so, in in order to, as when he became a Mahasattva, okay, he continued, he stresses the practice of generating blessings, of doing a lot of great merit and virtues, okay, and that's feeds back into his wisdom. So doing merit and virtue will then help him create more wisdom, which then he uses it to create even more merit and virtues, which increase wisdom. And so this endless cycle of creating merit and virtue in order to unfold his wisdom. Okay? And that's why this wisdom light shines ever brightly, even more and more brightly, endlessly. So that's the end of the short list of Mahasattvas who were leaders of the Mahasattvas who were there at the assembly. Of course, because our limited memory in this short version of the Flower Adornment Sutra, they only listed 10 Mahasattvas, most of whom we never even heard of, except for the first one, who is Universal Worthy Bodhisattva. We're not even talking about One Yin Bodhisattva, talking about Great Strength Bodhisattva, Earth Store Bodhisattva. So you can imagine the type of Mahasattvas present there. Okay, 224. These and others are the leaders whose numbers are as many as dust motes in the 10 Buddha worlds. The 10 Buddha worlds.
如是等而为上首，有十佛世界为陈数。
So 225. So these 10 listed, not 20 listed above. Sorry, it's not. Okay, it's a typo here. These 10 listed above are the leaders of the Mahasattva, not just leaders of Bodhisattva, the leaders of Mahasattvas. Mahasattvas also have their hierarchies as well. Okay, and so there are upper echelons of Mahasattvas who were there, that many were there, as many as dust motes in 10 Buddha worlds. Okay, uncountable. One Buddha world or one Buddha land has uncountable dust motes, okay? And you multiply it by 10, which is even more uncountable. Okay, so you see, just picture this in your mind where Shakyamuni Buddha was speaking the Flower Dharma Sutra under the Bodhi tree in one of those places. Okay, every time he does that, the Mahasattvas, leaders, were all present, as countless as dust motes in 10 Buddha worlds. That's an incredible, inconceivable state, right? And they all perfected their virtues. 227. All these bodhisattvas had amassed good roots and cultivated bodhisattva practices in the past, together with the thus come one, Vairochana.
此诸菩萨往昔皆与毗卢遮那如来共集善根，修菩萨恨。
228. All these Mahasattvas, leaders, who are as countless as dust motes in 10 Buddha lands, okay, these uncountable in numbers Mahasattva leaders, who were surrounded by their own Mahasattva retinues, okay? So this is what said, all these bodhisattvas refers to all those Mahasattvas present, leaders and their retinues. So far so good. They all have amassed good roots. Pay attention here. It sounds very simple. It says all these Mahasattva bodhisattvas, okay, have planted, have relentlessly planted blessings. That's where good roots come from. Okay? With Buddhism, with Mahayana, with Buddhas, with Bodhisattvas. Okay? That's how they amass good roots. And cultivated Bodhisattva practices in the past, together with the thus one Vairochana. So Vairochana means Vairochana is the Dharma body Buddha, okay? Meaning that when they practice Vairochana, meaning that this Buddha here is everywhere, so they practice these leaders and these Mahasattvas, practice the 10 paramitas everywhere in the Dharma realm. That's why it's meant by practice of Vairochana. So far, so good. Okay? See how difficult it is. And they amass good roots by benefiting living beings and cultivating the 10 paramitas and 10,000 practices. This is what they all did in order to deserve to be there, to earn a spot to be there. Interesting? 229, and all of them were born from the ocean of thus come one's good roots.
皆从如来善根海生。
230, and none of these Mahasattvas, okay, whether it's leaders or retinue members, okay, and they're all born from the ocean of the Buddha's good roots. Meaning that they came about from the boundless good roots of the Buddhas. All Buddhas. And this should, because we don't really understand their state, but this is meant to remind us, all of us, that we are here from the graces of God. I mean the grace of the Buddhas. Including God. Okay? All the goodnesses that are created in this world are from the Buddha's good roots that will bring forth us as part of the goodness. So far, so good? 231. They had completely perfected all paramitas.
诸波罗蜜悉已圆满。
232. They perfected the paramitas, and for most of us, we can need to understand the 6 paramitas, which are the fundamental, the core concept of the practice of the Bodhisattvas. Okay, number 1, this is, you memorize it forever. Okay, this is very important. This is superior knowledge, superior wisdom. This is what we pattern and we gauge our practices, our cultivation on, how well we carry out these things. And everything we practice are not beyond these paramita practices in Mahayana. So the first practice, the core, the first part, the foundation of the practice is the paramita of giving. It's important to remember this. You have to memorize this by heart. Okay, whether you're Buddhist or non-Buddhist, okay, it doesn't matter. When you practice giving, the 3 kinds of giving: giving of wealth, giving of Dharma, and giving of fearlessness. Okay, now giving of wealth, you understand what it is. Okay, it's material things. Okay, that people depend on in order to subsist and to live their lives. So that's why the wealth here refers not only to material things like gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, okay, but also your wealth as well, meaning that your wealth is your heart, your liver, your brains, okay, your mental, your intellect. That's your wealth as well. Is that clear? Okay, so this giving here, you can give with so many ways to give. Okay, material things as well, your body as well, your intellect, your mind, and so forth, your creativity. Okay, so far so good. That's a giving of wealth. Okay, and so each of us have these special skills to give in terms of wealth giving. Okay, special resources in order to give wealth. Okay, now I need to remind you, the spiritual practice is based on giving. It's not about based on taking. You see that? The starting point of cultivation is to give. Don't ask, don't take, don't plot for yourself. When are you going to learn that? You keep on asking for more and more for yourself. That's not giving. That's a subtle difference. Okay? In Mahayana, we give because we have a chance to give. All right, and give our wealth. Okay? And then the next form of giving is giving of Dharma, giving of wisdom, Buddha Dharma. Okay, here's what happens. People are confused. That's why they hurt themselves. They dig a deeper hole for themselves. They sink. Lifetime after lifetime, they get worse and worse and worse for them. Okay, so this Dharma here is the only way for them to get out of these vicious cycles of suffering. So because without the Dharma, we will suffer endlessly. We evolve in this weary incarnation. Doesn't matter how rich you are, doesn't matter how pretty you are, doesn't matter how powerful you are, doesn't matter how smart you are. Unless you have the Buddhist wisdom, you'll never get out of it. Never, ever. The proof is that you're still here. You still don't know how to get out of it. Because if you did, I wouldn't be here. If I could, I wouldn't be here. Make sense? All right. So this Dharma here is incredible asset you can give. Okay. In the China, you read the Chinese scriptures. The ancient emperors and kings used to consider the Buddha Dharma, Mahayana Dharma, as the national treasure. The monks, the virtuous monks, the famous monks, the monks who have wisdom were national treasures. They guard them with their lives, and they'd rather perish in the battle to protect them. Or you go to other countries to conquer other countries to get those monks and nuns, bring them back to your country and help your country prosper, because it's a tremendous asset. Okay? Wisdom is a tremendous asset. All right? So this Dharma here is the giving of the Mahayana Dharma, okay, that will help people get out of this nonsense. This stupidity and confusion. All right? And I need to caution you. This Dharma here, if you are not enlightened yet, don't try to tell people about the Dharma yet, because you will turn them off. Okay? After you become enlightened, you need to learn how to give the Dharma. Okay, so it's not like there are some people, very, very devout Buddhist disciples, who say, wow, if a Buddha Dharma is so wonderful, then let me study the Buddha Dharma, and then I will tell people about it. Okay? Now, it's not quite that kind of Dharma we're talking about here. That's a low-level type of Dharma. It's like giving out money, giving out cryptocurrency and so forth. This Dharma here that we're talking about is the giving of the Dharma of escape, of liberation, of enlightenment. Okay? So at different levels of your practices, you will give out more and more of this Dharma. Okay? So, and I need to remind you, because the Chinese, the way I first learned about this is that of all form of living, all forms of giving, all types of giving, the giving of Dharma is foremost. You heard of that, right? Chinese people who learn about the giving paramita, you all heard of that. All types of giving, the giving of Dharma, Fa Shi, something like DE, okay, is number one, is foremost. Okay? And so therefore everyone rushed and said, oh, why bother cleaning the bathroom? Why bother cooking in the kitchen? That's all give the Dharma, because it's the best form, best use of our time. Nothing can be further from the truth. Part of your giving a Dharma is also to work in the kitchen. Part of your giving a Dharma also to clean the bathroom. Okay? Part of giving a Dharma is also give the master red cars. Just in case you forgot about it. It's part of giving a Dharma. Believe me, trust me. Ching! Okay? So So it's unfortunate, but when I first learned about that, my first reaction was I just learn the Dharma and give it the Dharma. It doesn't work like that. Part of that Dharma is to practice giving of wealth. Yes? And when you give the Dharma, it's not just talk, it's about doing. Not just talk about concepts, it's about doing. It's walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Okay? And finally, one thing that the Chinese teach about giving fearlessness, no one can make any comments about it. It bothered me. I learned about this and I said, why fearlessness? What does it do for me? Okay? And so later I realized that fearlessness here, okay, you give fearlessness the way the Chinese taught you is that when people are fearful, people are frightened, you come over, comfort them, do things to really give them relief. That's fearlessness that we're talking about. Very simple-minded, okay? So the Americans, and they have the things I learned from the Americans, then they are so anxious and they're so worried, they're so upset. You go over there and you lie to them. It's okay, it's going to work out. Your mother's going to get well, she's not going to die. And she died the next day. You know full well it's impossible, but no, don't worry, she's going to die. Okay? And that's, I couldn't understand why people would say those things. But actually it's giving fearlessness. Okay? It's kind of nice because it provides relief that's needed at that moment. So you help relieve people's fear, people's fear, people's anxiety. Okay, that's a giving of fearlessness. Okay, because later on I realized that it's not clear in the way the Chinese explain it or Master Shenhua explained it. I need to emphasize to you, this giving fearlessness is, to me personally, I stressed that in the past already, is as important as the other two. So all three forms here are equally important. Okay, don't discriminate. Don't say, I give only Dharma because it's foremost. Only give money because that's all I have. Okay? Like Mr. Buffett says, I don't have much, I'm going to give you money. No, you also need to give Dharma. You also need to give fearlessness. Okay? Why fearlessness? Fearlessness in order for you to become enlightened. Without fearlessness, okay, in your path of cultivation, you'll be faced with tremendously scary things that will make you quit and give up. Okay? Or maybe you yourself. Okay? Fear that you're not good enough because you yourself are afraid that you will not make it. Okay? So that's why you need to practice the giving of fearlessness in order to become enlightened. All right, so I feel that this is a tip I'm giving you that the Chinese don't. I haven't read it in Chinese yet anywhere. Okay, the Chinese talk about giving of Dharma, giving of wealth. They don't understand the importance of giving of fearlessness. Next, second paramita. Once you practice, you start first in your Buddhist spiritual practice with giving. Okay, giving those things, giving of wealth, giving of Dharma, giving of fearlessness. Okay, our style is equally, meaning don't discriminate. So far, so good. Okay, if you do that, then you will be able to practice. You start with giving. Okay, and then from the paramita of giving, practicing the paramita of giving, you'll be able to practice precepts. Okay, the precepts, the core precepts of the nature, meaning of everyone, okay, are the 5 precepts in Buddhism. Okay, whether you're a lay person or monk or nun or whoever, you have the core of our purity are the 5 precepts, okay, which are not killing, not stealing, no sexual misconduct, and no lying, and no taking of intoxicants. All right? So when you become Buddhist, that's when we teach you about these things, okay, and help you with your practice. And the monks and nuns need to learn about these things in order to teach the Buddhist disciples. Okay? And once you practice the precepts, the paramita of a precept, meaning maintaining your precepts with utmost purity, okay, then you go a step further by practicing patience. The order matters, folks. This is why they're listed sequentially like this. You don't just go in here and practice patience right away. You want to start your practice with giving. Now if you giving, you get to the point where you're giving generously. So okay, then I am now will be able to practice successfully precepts. So then you realize all these years you learned about precepts or 5 precepts before, you couldn't hold any of them. Okay, you couldn't hold that many of them. And then as you practice more and more giving, and one day you said, oh wow, now I'm not as attached to about killing, okay, anymore, or stealing anymore. Okay, and so that's how you're able to practice precepts, from your giving. And from your precept practice, you'll be able to graduate to the paramita of patience. Okay, and the patience here is to endure. Chinese definition, patience is endure what cannot be endured. That's all. It's very simple. Your legs hurt. Can't take it anymore. You just need to endure it. And you say, I'm going crazy. I'm going to quit. And what does the paramita of patience tells you? Endure more. But I'm going to break my legs. Do a little bit more. What should I do? How about endure a little bit more? Okay? So the way I teach you is moderation, in that you incrementally, you do not go crazy. Okay? This particular patience here, the patience has been nurtured. Okay? Just like the martial arts, you need to practice daily, increase the regimen daily, or weightlifting and so forth. Okay, working out, same thing. You need to increase it. There's a regime. There is a way of practice. Okay, and our rule is endure more today. That's all. Do not look at anything else. Look at the high water level mark. You go a little bit higher, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. That's what patience is. Is that clear? That's all. Yes, we will stop, but it has to be a little bit more than before. That's all. And when you do that, in particular, for example, the legs hurt and so forth, of course it's unbearable. Okay? Or not the leg hurt, but the heart hurts. The mind hurts. Oh my God, I'm so miserable. I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. And for hunger, how do we endure? One more day. That's all. One more day. Okay? And so you endure more. And you do more and more and more and more. Okay? If you do that, you keep doing that, It doesn't matter what you do, whether it's enduring the hunger, whether it's enduring the insults, whether enduring master's unpredictability, whether it's too much pizza to eat, Wouldn't that be nice? I will endure a little bit more pizza tomorrow. Even though I wish I have something else to eat, be strong enough. No, I will endure more pizza. The kind today. Okay, so you endure more. You got the recipe? It's very simple. Endure more. Each time. That's all. Don't try revolution. Don't try to start revolution. Very baby steps. And that's wisdom, because if you keep on doing baby steps like that, it becomes your nature. Patience is to patiently endure more. That's all. Infinitely. There's no end to it. So even if you take a baby step, endure more, a little bit more, a little bit more, you do it every single day until the end of time, that's how it becomes infinite. Don't be daunted by saying, but it's Bodhisattva, I've been doing it for 20 million years. So it doesn't matter. It's just about you. And do it more and more and more and more and more and more. That's all. That's all. We all have to do this. Not glamorous. It's nothing to write home about. Say, hey mom, today I just sit in meditation and do 20 more seconds. Yeah, mommy says, yeah, that's my boy. Okay? That's patience. I don't know how else to beat into your brains. It's about following that thing, that rule. More, a little bit more, a little bit more. That's all. Don't look too far. Don't look at others. Look at yourself. Let me endure a little bit more of the pain, of the suffering. And when that happens, your heart grows bigger every single time. In our environment, if you stick it to our environment and do a little bit more, naturally your heart will grow bigger. If you practice this patience, I need to caution you, you practice patient paramita in the wrong environment, maybe your hatred grows bigger. Or maybe your greed grows bigger. Not for sure, not guaranteed. But our environment, okay, it grows bigger. Your heart grows bigger. Okay? And it keeps on growing and growing. Your heart grows bigger and bigger. And one day, you understand why we practice the patience. Because eventually, you reach the level of wisdom, which requires you to have the patience with production, the patience with dharmas, and the patience with non-production of dharmas. Okay? What is the patience with production? It's beautiful. These teachings are so beautiful. It's just the Chinese don't explain to themselves, to their own kind. That's why they keep saying, patience, the patience practice is patience with production, patience with dharmas, patience with non-production of dharmas. Of course, it's so obvious. I don't know what it really means. Anyone? Those who've been with me for 10, 15 years now. What does it mean, patience with production? What does it mean, patience with dharmas? With the non-production of dharmas? And do not tell me that Master never explained this. Please. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. I'll take a stab at it. Is production when you create karmas, when you have thoughts?
Okay. That's it? What about patience with dharmas?
Oh, well, with other Dharma masters, they may not be as entertaining or engrossing as you are, so you have to be patient with them. But I don't find that to be the case here.
You can't kiss me like you kiss your wife. Okay, continue. But I will be patiently waiting for you to explain to me the patient non-production of dharmas.
So following this thread, that would be dharmas you don't have to think about coming to you when they do.
Okay, very good. Q&A.
Emitofuo, Master, I make a wide guess is patient of production is we patient with our false thinking, false thought coming up. We patient and try not do anything. And patient with of the Dharma is thing happen outside you, and you also your mind shouldn't move because try to be patient. It go with your thought or good or bad. It outside you shouldn't move your mind. And yeah, that's it.
Good, Wasi.
I have no idea about this number 3. Yeah.
Number 3. Okay, anyone else? Yes, the old monk. The venerable old monk.
Cái theo con đoán như anh Hồng thôi, cái patient of production đó là mình kiên nhẫn với những chúng sanh hữu tình. Còn viết Dharma là kiên nhẫn với những pháp như cái vô hữu tình, như cục đá, cái cây rồi nó xảy ra đối với mình đó, những cái vô tình đó. Còn cái non production đó là các pháp đều mình nhận biết từ cái tâm chân không của mình, tâm mà thanh tịnh của mình đó, nó sanh ra các pháp trước mặt mình. Mà nó đâu có, cái tâm ở đâu có, cho nên những cái pháp sanh ra cũng là không có, cho nên mới sanh chính là chẳng sanh. Tại mình chộp nó, mình nói có không mà mình mới sinh chuyện ra, còn mình thấy nó không, nó trong cái tánh không sinh ra thì mình không có khởi lên ngã nhân cái gì trong đó hết, giống như kinh Kim Cang đó, nó gọi là vô sanh pháp nhẫn, không có ta trong đó, ai bị, ai gây ra ai bị, tức là trong tánh không hết đó. Xin hết.
Master, I am just guessing that the patience with production means that you have to be patient with a sentient being. And the patience with dharmas mean you have to be patient with the insentient being. And then the patience of the non-production of dharmas, meaning that you have to aware that everything is come from the emptiness of your nature. So once you're aware of it, it's like nothing for you to grasp or nothing for you to be attached to. Then you don't give rise to yourself or the views of selves and the views of others. So basically everything is empty.
3.
Dintai said patience with whatever states that arises from your mind. Conk said the third one is when you are patient with production and dharma and you graduate. When you graduate from 1 and 2, both, that's number 3.
Who said that?
Conk.
Conk? Conk?
They didn't mention who.
Okay. Anyone else? No Chinese? Only Korean and Americans and Vietnamese? No Chinese people. We told this from the Chinese, and no Chinese would deign to explain this to us. Chu Hong, oh no, she's working. Shucks. Any China person? and lightness. Okay. I will explain to you. It's a very vast form of practice, but I explain to you in terms of your practice is here. Okay, all the practices is here. Okay, whether it's fasting, whether it's meditation, whether it's cooking in the kitchen, whether it's working, whether it's cleaning the bathroom. Okay, all those are all practices here, believe it or not. Okay, so let's keep it simple because it sounds better. Because when they talk to you about meditation is better because most people are more interested in knowing about what I do. I used to learn meditation. So meditation, what is this patient with in meditation practices? But in the same vein as you listen to my examples on meditation, same thing applies to fasting, same thing applies to working, same thing applies to giving, same thing applies to precepts. So far, so good. Okay? So it's not enough time to explain everything to you. But I explain give you a few examples to help you understand and expand and extrapolate that to whatever you're doing. Everything you're doing, as a matter of fact. Taking a shower. Same thing, patiently take a shower. Okay? All acts during the day. Okay. Now, when you practice meditation, or let's say you're fasting, you're patient with production, meaning that when you sit there, you meditate, the objective meditation is to stop your mind from thinking. That's part of the training. You train your mind not to think. It's not about breathing. Not about mindfulness. Okay? All those are excuses to fool you, to keep you occupied. But the objective of the meditation is for you to stop thinking. So when you listen, the instructor says, I teach you meditation because as you meditate, you breathe in and feel the breath coming in. And you count 1 as you exhale. And as you next breath, you breathe in. And exhale, you count 2. Okay? You do all those things. Okay? Are just like learning how to walk, teaching a baby how to walk. But ultimately, even with breathing, counting your breath, okay? These secret practices are designed for you. If you follow the breath counting, even though as you count your breath, 1, 2, 3. Okay, as you do that, other thoughts arise. Yes? And you say, oops, today's lunch is not bad. You're supposed to be counting your breath. Okay? But another errant thought comes in. Errant thoughts come in. And you say, why is it so difficult? And you give up. Then you're not patient. You're doing that, but as thoughts come in, you say, oh, another thought. Oh, another thought. Another thought. You go back to it. That's called patience with production. Because you're producing thoughts. Thoughts arise when they're not supposed to. And you patiently endure it. You don't complain. You don't quit. You don't go home. So far, so good? You don't quit. You continue. I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. I didn't sleep that well last night. I'm so sleepy now. I can't concentrate. I can't even count. What was it, 2? Was it 3 the last time? Is it 4? Okay? This is nonsense. I can't take it anymore. Let's stop. Let's go get some rest because we do it again tomorrow when I can really count. Is that being patient? No. You endure the lack of sleep, the being so tired. You can't concentrate. You still endure it. Is that clear? You endure with all these thoughts that arise, that make you quit and create a friction within you, okay? That's part of the training. Endure yourself. Endure your own thoughts. Name a non-Buddhist practice is like that. Very few. People think that we teach them to sit in full lotus because it's difficult, because it hurts us. No. We teach you all those things, all these practices in order for you to endure yourself. Endure your thoughts of quitting. Ultimately, you want to quit. That's all. All those lead to they all lead to the same thing. Quit. Let's quit. That's enough. Okay? And you endure that, endure all those thoughts, including a thought of quitting. They keep on coming stronger and stronger and stronger. You endure what? A little bit more this time. A little bit more next time. Okay? And when we talk about more, it has to be in terms of concrete measurements, not just your imagination. This is something you cannot trust. This is why simple rule. There's a countdown timer or watch or something. You say, okay, I don't care. I'm going to do the pain, whatever it takes, okay, until I hit my target. Then I can do whatever I want. Until next time. Till next year. All right? So you endure with your thoughts that are disrupting you, that are making you or urging you to quit. Okay? We're not talking about thoughts, your own thoughts alone. It doesn't matter what these thoughts come from, but whatever thoughts goes inside your head, it's irrelevant. People are asking me, have this thought, is it from me or from the ghost? Or is it from my nature or from, or her nature? I say, why does it matter? It's thoughts that we need to endure. Guard against the temptation of many smart people like Alex. He says, why is this thought does it keep on arising constantly? Explain that to me. What did I do to you for you to be so mean to me? Just endure. That's all. There's no reason. You don't need to understand why. It's the weak ones, the sheeps, who need to understand why, so that they can comfort themselves. Oh, that makes sense. In prior life, I hurt him, so now he's hurting me. Of course, I deserve what I get. The tough ones say, okay, I'm doing something. I don't care why. Is that clear? The majority of the people that practice this patience of production, they need to have a reason why they need to endure more. We don't care. We endure. That's it. I don't care. Bring it on. All right? So, enduring your own thoughts. Number 2, B. Patience with dharmas. So if you don't quit, that's from A. The objective of A is not to quit, not to run away. Okay, I have disciples of mine, who who been with me for a long, long time. She comes to cook and loves to cook and so forth. Okay, and she's spent a lot of time, a lot of blood and sweat to do that, and it's greatly appreciated. Okay, and then help her get to very good level of samadhi powers until she faced a test where she disagrees with me. The production is inside of you. As somebody explained earlier, dharmas are the most dangerous ones are outside of you. And the worst one is master. I know. It gets harder. After dealing with yourself, you have to deal with someone else who's more evil than you, in other words. Okay? The demons, the ghosts, politicians, master, and so forth. Okay? And basically she says, Master is too evil. Oh God, he talks about compassion. He has no compassion whatsoever. Still, you still endure it. You got that far and you quit because you got with the patience with the production, okay? So for you to have samadhi, it's very good. And then Master shows up, he says, I don't care, Master's so wrong. Okay? And this is what happens to many people, especially Hinayana level people. They got the learn to be patient with their thoughts. And then when they're faced with external factors like other people, they say, I can't stand these people. They're so inferior. Like I look at my master's disciples and say, I don't want to be like you. What is that? What is it? Failure called? Non-patience with dharmas. You got that? By the time I realize it's too late. Burned bridges already. Okay? They don't want to accept people who don't want to be like them anyway. Anyway, so you're patient with Dharma, meaning primarily, so first is inside, where your thoughts go crazy. Outside is that uncontrollable. All these people, all these animals, all these demons, all these evil people. Okay? You still need to endure it. Meaning that when during meditation, you practice to be patient with your thoughts. When you don't meditate, okay, after you've done the meditation, careful folks, pay attention to this. After you're done meditating, done reciting mantras, you need to learn to be patient with dharmas. In particular, what dharmas? What's the most difficult dharmas are difficult to endure? People! I can't stand people! Sounds familiar? I don't need to put up with this. Okay? Part of the spiritual practice is learn to endure other people, especially the unpleasant ones. You know what I mean? They're so unpleasant. And that's when you welcome, oh, honey, come. We hate you. But do come. So that we face the hatred in our own hearts. And come up with better ways to harm you. Anyone? Who says cultivation is boring? I beg to differ. Okay? So you understand why I stress people here? Because it's called Great Assembly. You put up with all these people around you. You can't practice by yourself. You practice by yourself, you're patient, you lack in the patience with dharmas. The most unpredictable, the most difficult things to deal with are people. Not storm, not climate change, not hunger. It's people. And ask those who quit in protest. The worst people is master. He somehow brings out the hatred that's so well hidden inside of me, I can't stand him anymore. I never hated anyone like that before. He's so wrong. But if, as long as you hear, I beg for your forgiveness. When you practice meditation, you need to be patient with good feelings. Comfort. No! Stop nodding your head. Shake your head. That's not meditation, folks. Remember, patience is part of meditation training, meaning you endure what cannot be endured. It doesn't say, endure what is so great. There's no patience in there. It's not meditation. Am I offending anyone? Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. So in the rare instances where I've been sitting full lotus and it doesn't hurt, I should rush that feeling, not be patient with it.
When it doesn't hurt, you're not even patient at all. So why is there a need to rush it? The patience, remember, the patience is when you endure what cannot be endured. The pleasant feeling is no challenge. Okay, it happens. Including pleasant feelings, you still endure it. You don't say, hurry up, can you go back? Can we go back to unpleasantries? Can we go back to nasty? Can we go back to evil so that I can endure? You endure everything. But let me give you a tip. The reason you get into these good feelings is because you endure the difficult things you endure. That's why you are paving the way yourself to experience these pleasant things. Okay? The more unpleasant things you endure, the bigger, the greater, the more intense pleasant feelings. So if you will, the process is like, let me put it bluntly for you. If you start practicing meditation with seeking pleasant feelings, pleasantries, comfort, okay? Then you'll be steady. There's a little progress. In Mahayana, especially the Chinese, okay, the way the Chinese taught them, first thing come in, cross your legs, man. Do not sit on a chair. Do not get in half lotus. Do not, be comfortable. Do not sit on the Japanese thing where you sit on top so that you can slide your foot underneath yourself. It's not that difficult to do that. We ask you to do something very difficult immediately. And you will learn immediately to learn how to endure the thoughts of quitting. This is nonsense. This hurt too much. I better stop. I'm going to hurt myself. You see? So it's brutal training because you start with are you a sheep? Or are you a warrior? Okay? And so this training here, this is why I was very lucky. I was exposed to these practices, and for some reason, the ideal, the Dharma Master YongHua taught, endure the pain, endure more pain. I grew up on that. I seize upon that. Okay, I'm going to endure something I really hate, called pain. That's called patience with production. Okay, and now many of you who are able to sit calmly and for a long, long time and feeling so happy and so superior. Okay, now you have to learn to endure other people. That's part of the training, folks, in Mahayana. Especially people you can't stand. You endure them. So do not ask me, Master, why do you accept such disciples? So that you can endure them. Okay? So far, so good? So dharmas, like you endure hunger. That's a dharma. Dharma meaning anything. In particular people, but not just people. It's about anything that bothers you, that makes you want to quit. You endure it. So far, so good? That's the next level. Whatever. You're not dealing with just yourself alone. Now you deal with the outside world, everything. Look at how you reject others. Okay? You need to endure those things. That's all. That's how tough we are. This is makes you a tougher person. This is how vajra is mined, folks. Vajra is mined by enduring, by patience. Vajra cannot be mined by seeking pleasant things. To seek pleasant things, to stick to pleasant things, to only look forward to pleasant things will not produce vajra. Okay? And so the next level of a graduation for many of you is the patience and non-production of dharmas. Meaning that you can stay there. Meaning that non-production refers to no more thoughts. Remember, A is production means your thoughts. Non-production refers to your non-thoughts. Does it help? This is a little bit advanced. For most meditation teachers will not teach you this, will not explain you this. Okay? I explain it for you for future reference. Non-production here is that you don't think anymore. You don't produce thoughts anymore. Okay? Of dharmas. You don't think, and no one bothers you, nothing bothers you. Inside, you're not thinking of anything. Outside, you're not bothered by anything. So I don't care, you meditate, while you fast, you whatever. You go in the kitchen, okay? You work, okay? You're still doing the same thing, patient with production. Don't think too much. You cut vegetables, wash vegetables. Don't think too much. Washing, just wash. Don't think about anything. So far, so good. The thoughts arise. Say, oh, you think of this, you think of that. That's meditation as well. Okay? You do dishes. You're thinking, too many dishes. God, today, what did they cook here? So dirty. And look at the dish from concubine. She wastes so much food. You know what I mean? No wonder. You see, so you clean, you don't care, you just clean, you do your dishes. Don't think of east and west and think of anything. Just control yourself. That's meditation too. That's why why we told you, you cannot meditate. Get up, go work, and practice patience with production. Is that clear? That's meditation too. Okay? And then patient with Dharma, you're washing there, and then someone comes over and says, "Why are you wasting water? You have to stop." That's patient with Dharmas. Unreasonable Dharmas. Okay, you still have to be patient. Yes, 3.
Master, I feel I'm a sheep. Now, how do I get out of the sheep mode?
Endure the goats more. God, such a simple answer. Sheep are ruled by goats. So endure it. But never forgive. You endure, but I never said you forgive them. Just endure. And you say, you just wait. I swear to God. You just wait until you get the patient non-production of dharmas. That will come back and let you have it. That's my training. Yeah, it worked. Yes, 3.
I don't feel like I want to do anything.
That's depression. You endure that as well. Life is meaningless. It doesn't matter anyway. So, okay. What else? You endure so not wanting to do anything, but you still sit in straight, great forms. I don't want to do anything. As long as you do this, you can not. You sit this and you do the 4 compartment. You don't have to do anything. Some people are simply too depressed. They still don't get it. I don't want to do anything. You're doing something. What do you mean you don't want to do anything? You're sitting, aren't you? Just sit straight and don't do anything. That's what we call Chan meditation. We don't do anything. Sound familiar? We do nothing all day. Nothing. When you can't make it, that's why we make you do something in the kitchen, in the parking lot. Okay? It's a patient production. You see? Inside, endure yourself inside, thoughts quitting. Outside, people make you quit. How can a nun be like that? What kind of place is this? Still endure it. Huh? And finally, non-production means after you do all that, one day, it will happen naturally without thinking. Because you go through this process enduring yourself, enduring others, enduring yourself, enduring others, enduring yourself, enduring others. One day, naturally, you have no more thoughts. Okay? That's you, non-production. Dharmas. Meaning that no one bothers you anymore. You know what I mean? No one bothers you. What evil? What wrong? That's my master. Master YongHua. No one bothers him. Give him money, he doesn't care. Don't give him money, he doesn't care. Keep precepts, he doesn't care. Don't keep precepts, he doesn't care. Nothing bothers him. Practice, he doesn't care. Don't practice, he doesn't care. Progress, he doesn't care. Don't progress, he doesn't care. Nothing bothers him. He has 7.
Master, why does that require patience? Isn't that you're not bothered by anything, you're nothing, it's very pleasant, but patience, like you said before, you need to be patient with difficult things. Doesn't sound difficult. So I don't understand why the patience is there on the third one.
It's difficult to get out of it. Okay? It's difficult to progress beyond it. It doesn't stop. Patience doesn't stop there. Because with non-production, meaning you don't produce thoughts anymore, people don't bother you anymore. So what does it mean? Inside you're empty, outside is empty. Inside you're empty because no one bothers you, nothing bothers you. You don't have any thoughts of greed, of anger, of stupidity. Okay? Whatever happens, doesn't matter to you. None of your business, in other words. Okay? People keep on asking me, what about this, what about that? None of your business. Meaning, don't think about it. You got it? I keep on telling people, none of your business. But Master scolded me. No. It means don't think about it. None of your business. Why think about it? Huh? And of dharmas is that, I hate to admit this, the red cars are empty. Eventually, at first you need to have it, and then eventually you see, oh, it's actually empty. Got that? So at this point here, inside is empty, outside is empty. It cannot truly bother you unless it's really empty. Someone yells at you, all the insults, the ugly faces, the unpleasant attitude is still empty to you. That's empty too. What did you say? Or you sit there. I'm so That's called thought production. Okay, this is okay, but I am so bored. I think my back is something wrong with me. You ignore that, or you ignore all discomfort, and you go from this discomfort to zero. You neutralize it immediately. And then eventually you see that these things, during the Dharma lecture, they're planting thoughts in you. That's all. You sit there and meditate, life doesn't make sense. What's the point in doing all this? It's all empty anyway. It's called thoughts of depression. I don't want to do anything. Or I hate everyone. What is that called? Thought of mania, manic people. I hate you. I don't want to be like you. It's manic. You have no class. Yes.
Master, is number C, is the fourth stage arahant's level?
Yes. Nothing bothers him. It means that they can, whatever bothers them, they can switch off immediately. It's not like they become stone. They become wood. They become inanimate. It's just that they have the choice. When someone unpleasant comes to them, and normal people, how can you talk to me like that? Okay, the horse says, they can do that too. Don't talk to me like that. And he said, but. She asks, I said, oh, I'm a fourth stage art. Boom, disappear. Gone. Okay, so it's the fun there. The fun is that you can be evil, and all of a sudden you stop being evil, and no one could tell the difference. Isn't that fun? You pick a fight with her, and then you get to fight, and then all of a sudden you empty yourself and you disappear, and then the other person goes crazy. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I will never forgive you, I will never forgive you, I won't believe you, and so forth. Loser. You say, you really are a loser, aren't you? So easy to make you lose your mind. That's why you're a loser. I call them loser because they lose their mind, not because they don't make it. It's just they just simply don't know how to control their mind. All right? So this patience here is a training for you to control your thoughts. Okay? Wait a minute. Hasn't time expired? You've been very patient. I appreciate it. We have to stop. Okay, we can't do this. I can't stand, Okay, we continue next time. Thank you, everyone. I've been patiently enduring all your applauses.